You ever get so exasperated with a company that you just give up, even though I have $127 worth of product that I ordered? Let me tell you the story. I am out here in my shop. Hold on. You know what? I gotta turn my heater on and get him up on his bed so I can move around a little bit. I'll be right back. Okay, I will start at the start. I got 4 gift cards for $25 each for Lowe's. And I do not want to go shopping. So I went to Lowe's website and I placed my order and I used my 4 gift cards. And it was a little more money, so I had to use a little bit of my own money. And what it was batteries, D-cell, double A's, and triple A's. I'm, replacing my, I keep a bunch of batteries on hand just because I'm a prepper. So I'm replacing, the batteries that I've used so far. And I ordered them all to be delivered. Well, I get an email confirming my order, and they are shipping 1/3 of my order to my house, and the other 2/3 they want me to go to New Orleans to pick up. I have no idea why they picked New Orleans. So I'm just, let me just say this. I don't like Home Depot because they're a stinking mess every time I go in there. And they let the prima donnas park underneath the awning and go in and do their shopping. So everybody else who buys lumber has to wheel their lumber out in the rain to their vehicle and load in the rain. And Lowe's does a much better job keeping the prima donnas out from under the awning until they're actually loading what they've bought. And so I prefer Lowe's store in person. But Lowe's has the worst website and the worst customer service over Home Depot. And I had Lowe's gift cards, or else if I do anything online ordering, I'll order it from Home Depot because they have a much better website and much better on the phone customer service. So anyway, I get the email saying that one of the 3 things I ordered is coming to my house, and I ordered them all to come to my house. And the other 2 are going to New Orleans. Even when I lived in Louisiana, New Orleans is, a 5-6 hour drive. It's down there in the Gulf of Mexico, and I'm up here in the Arkansas border. So I called their customer care, and of course you had to go through the frickin' phone menu, and they try everything they can to not give you a human. So finally and there's, no way to handle this except a human has to go into the computer. So after about 45 minutes on hold, I actually came down here. Yeah, I went to the bathroom with being on hold. If they answered the phone, I was going to be on the toilet. And then finished that business and came down here to this business, still on hold. And finally, 45 minutes, they answer. And she tells me that they can't change the shipping address of those 2, but they can change the pickup address. So I said, okay, I was trying to avoid picking up. Can you just refund my money? And she said, no, you use gift cards and we can't refund the money onto a gift card. I said, so I'm screwed, $130, $128. And she said, no, you can go pick it up. I said, I don't want to go pick it up. That's why I ordered online. I mean, I could go pick it up if I wanted to. So that's the best. She can't give me my money back and cancel the order. So the best she can do is have the 2 that are supposed to go to New Orleans come to Marshall, Texas. So she said, you should be getting an email changing the store. And you can just go over them and go over to the Marshall, Texas Lowe's and show them the email. So as we're speaking, I get the email and I open it up and it says, change store location to New Orleans, Louisiana. And I said, no, don't go. The email you sent me is saying that you just changed the store pickup location back to the store that originally was. Store 2470, New Orleans, Louisiana, Elysian Fields Road. And so she tries it 2 or 3 more times, and I get 2 or 3 more emails. And at this point, I'm so freaking aggravated. Yeah, I said, you know what? I'm going to hang up. I don't want to be rude, but I cannot take any more stress. I just can't deal with it right now. I'll have to try again another time. Maybe when the Christmas rush is over, I can try to get this straightened out. I just want my money back, because obviously I'm never going to see these batteries. And if it wasn't gift cards, I would be able to get my money back easier. I just canceled the order myself. So there you go. That's how my day is starting. Now I'm afraid to touch anything. All right. I got to put a new blade. I used some G10 on that red-handled knife, which I'm going to roll in a clip that I meant to roll in the other day, and it's just that red-handled knife rolling around on a rotisserie. I did do a short, but it was a 15-second short, and I have a 39-second clip of it rolling around. I'm real proud of that knife. It come out real nice. But it had G10 on it, and I cut the G10 on that, immediately ruined the blade. I had to put a new blade on that, and I cut the G10 on this also, and immediately ruined the blade. G10 is some horrible stuff, and I use it very, very infrequently. So before I can do anything, I got to put a blade on this, and then cut these pins off, and then square everything up, get all the glue sanded off, and then put this on my router and give me some round edges. So let me go ahead and get started putting that blade on there. I've got these to the point where now I'm going to put them on my router and knock the corners off, both of them. And the whole time I'm sitting here thinking about, you know, when you order stuff online, it cuts the middleman out, right? No screw ups. I'm going to be thinking about this all day. I specifically ordered online because I don't want to have to go to a store and be around shoppers. Normally I avoid this time of year like the plague, because you know, we've all seen the videos, Black Friday shoppers and the fist fights and the trampling people. Yeah, that actually happened a few years ago. It was a security guard at a Walmart got trampled to death at the door. And that's just one of a million different reasons why I don't want to go be around those people during bargain season. So I'm going to have to do it anyway, or lose 127 bucks. All right, let me get these on the router. We'll be back. Okay. Now I put these on the bandsaw, the metal cutting bandsaw, and I very carefully slice these off. And then I go to the small 1x42 belt sander, and I sand out the lines that the bandsaw leaves, and then from there on it's all by hand. All right, that's what I cut off. That's what I'm left with. Now I put it on the belt sander. Give these a little bit more shaping, and then put them in the vise and go to hand sanding. Okay. Now the rest happens by hand sanding. And I got to stop and go get some super glue and fill these voids up. This is what happens sometimes when you have burls. You'll occasionally come up with micro cracks that don't affect anything, but these are a little bigger than micro cracks, so I'm going to fill them in and sand over them. So let me go to the house and get some super glue. I'll be right back, and then the rest of the day we'll be sanding. Well, it's taking a little longer than I thought, but that one is full. That crack's full now. I'm working on that little crack there. And I'm going to let it dry and then go to sanding. I'm going to sand on this first. But I forgot I had super glue down here. And it's basically, it's thin super glue to finish wood with. And I'm going to try that again soon. I did it once and it come out okay, but not really good. And since then I've learned a lot more about this super glue. And I'm going to try it again someday. Alrighty, I'm going to make me a cup of hot chocolate. And I'm going to sit back and pet my dog and try to forget this morning's aggravation. Even this is a little bit of aggravation, you know. It's not that big a deal, but, you know, I have to stop my plan, you know, and I got to take time to fill the cracks up before I go any further. And I didn't plan on that this morning, so I am planning on a cup of hot chocolate, and when I come back, I'll have a better attitude. All right, there's the neck knife. Now, I'll start sanding on this. Let me check them. Oh, yeah. I have another Lowe's story. My wife came down here and told me this just happened to the lady that cuts her hair. Let me set you down. I'll turn you around. All right. So this lady that cuts my wife's hair ordered a refrigerator from Lowe's. It takes a month to get it. And, you know, the usual, you had to take a day off of work. They'll be there anywhere from 8 in the morning till 6 at night. So they bring the refrigerator after a month of waiting. And the box has a giant hole in it, a forklift fork hole. So they get it out of the box and they bring it in her house with this huge forklift hole in the side of the refrigerator, like she's going to take it. So she's mad as hell that they would even, knowing that there was a hole in the box, bring it to her. So she tells me to take it back, and she gets Lowe's on the line, and they say, well, we're going to give you 10% off. We'll send you a new one. We'll give you 10% off. And, you know, we're sorry this happened. So another month goes by, and she hasn't got it. So she calls Lowe's, and they are snotty to her on the phone. Then they tell her that they are not going to honor that 10% off. Which, you know, I get 10% at Lowe's just because I'm a veteran, so 10% is obviously not that big a deal to them. So, her and her husband get in the car and go over to Lowe's and ask to speak to the manager. And none of them will let them speak to the manager. And they left just exasperated with no refrigerator and no 10% off. So this may be, you know, all stores now, because they can't hire anybody. Nobody wants to work. Actually, nobody wants to work for what they're paying. Now, I do know that they've come up on their wages, but apparently it's not enough to get people out of the recliner. So let me give this a little sand here. Okay, here's a little update. I just got an email saying, not an email, a text from Lowe's saying that my order is ready for pickup in Marshall. And they're in some locker. I've never done this before, so I'll have to figure out where the lockers are. So, let's see here. Tomorrow I have to go to the doctor, so I guess I'll just do it tomorrow. I need to wait a few more minutes to finish sanding it. But anyway, yeah, this has turned out to be a genuine debacle. A cluster, you know. Okay, I don't know what I'm going to do now. I'm going to sit and think a minute. All right, there's the knife. There's my Kydex heating up. There's my press. And I'm going to stand right here. It takes about 6 or 7 minutes for that Kydex to heat up enough to mold. All right, we got that in the Kydex press. Now let's go back to sanding. Okay, this one that was here, you can't even see it now. And this one, I got just a little more that I'll have to fill. And what I'm doing is sanding it, getting that sawdust in there and putting a little, you remember how big this was? So we made a lot of headway on that. So I will have that filled up one more time. I think will do the trick. Okay. We're going to go polish this. You can't even see any of them cracks now. It's going to buff out real nice. We'll be back in a minute. And then we'll, when we get that polished, we'll go work on that Kydex sheath. And I'll get that done and call it a day. Tomorrow is Tuesday. You'll see this Tuesday morning. Tomorrow I'll be going back to the doctor. And I think we have a Walmart list, and then I'll go by Lowe's and see if my batteries are actually going to be there. So have a good Tuesday, y'all. Actually, I'll show you this knife when it's all polished out. Okay, now when I go home, I take some gun blue and I blue the exposed steel. And just so there's no stopping and starting point on the spine, I sand it all the way down to the bare metal, all the way down, and it looks all the same. Okay. I'm going to work on that Kydex sheath. I'll show you that in just probably 20 minutes. All right, this is what I got. Now I got to mash these over. They're not mashed over yet. And then pry this apart and get my knife out, and then put the other four in. Then go into my bandsaw and cut out around this, and then I fine tune. And what I do is take this in and out until it comes in and out easy enough where you won't cut yourself pulling it out, but hard enough where it will stay in the sheath, you know, and not fall out. So let me get these mashed over and then I'll get this out. All right, now I go put it on the bandsaw and cut that pattern out. All right, there's that. And I've mentioned this before, but in case you didn't know, if you buy a neck knife from me, I tie one end and leave one end kind of loose. That way you can adjust it to whatever length you want and cut it, tie a knot. But you have to melt the ends because these will fray and come apart instantly. So the second you cut it, you got to have a lighter on it. Okay, there's one done. Well, actually, I got to put an edge on it. So Wednesday, I will make the sheath for this and Big Red. And maybe I'll have time to sharpen them Wednesday too. Okay, have a good Tuesday, y'all. Medicare plan update. Oh no, I missed the update, and they've been unable to contact me. So I feel sorry for people who are trusting, and they'll call that number. Oh, Sunrise. I know somebody who lives in Sunrise. A friend of mine lives in Sunrise. They'll call that number, and before you know it, they'll have them all on some other plan that they didn't sign up for, didn't want, and it'll cost them more money, and it'll cover less, and it's got nothing whatsoever to do with Medicare. These are not Medicare people. These are just scammers trying to get you to give up your personal information so they can sell you a plan you don't need or want. So this is, when I finish these three, this is the next project. It really shouldn't take too long. I'm thinking I can have it apart, cleaned up, restored, and back together in a day. And then I think I'll make a new sheath for it. Okay, so I'll get to that. But Wednesday, Wednesday we'll work on them. See ya. Now I got to take a couple of pictures, and soon I'm going to start working on the sheath.